Hey, Poodle fam, how we doing today? Oh, we are here live like normal, every single week, episode 74 today. Got myself a nice little setup. Hopefully, I like my new camera. I'm using the new Apple Studio displays. Dressed up for y'all today. There we go. Dressing up for you in the Poodle t-shirt. Let me see. I got the chat up over here. Got a new microphone. I'm gonna check this out. Limited edition Shure MV7. So my mic levels are good. Playing with that. So just excited to be here today and to be able to talk to you about some movement. We've seen a lot of crypto movement going on lately. And in this week, and I thought, let's talk about it. And right as I was going to talk about it, I'm on the Telegram, and I see someone already fudding about where we're at and where the price is at, and that we just can't have. We don't want to have that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the market. Going to talk, Susan. Always good to see you. Glad you hopped in the chat. So we're here. We're just talking about, what this movement means, seeing if I was correct. Hey, Trisha, how's it going? Was I correct about when the bear market would end? And what are we finally coming to the next bull market? Because there was some movement in the markets this week. In all of the various tokens, there was a lot of movement. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some things that we can do now in order to get ready for it, and just kind of move up from there. Wait, we're doing roast J Score for his birthday. Oh, that would be, that's fun. Always a good roast. Should I do a roast episode of me? No, there's too much to make fun of if I did a roast episode of me. But it's good to be here as always with you all. And so hopefully we are going to we're going to have a good one. We're going to talk about some changes. I really was excited this week. I wish I could have been on the TG more. And then of course I see just the FUD that kind of goes through with people complaining. I thought, yeah, we got to do this because right now, as I mentioned on the last episode, when I gave everybody the acronyms to pay attention to, we don't want to be our own worst enemy, right? As the market starts to turn, and we sit there and say, and we are the ones talking about, bad about crypto. Well, what good is that? What do we have to gain from talking bad about something that we care about? And I don't care what kind of investor you are. If you hold anything, what good is it to bash it, and bash the market, especially as new people want to start coming in, right? Why would we want to do anything of that sort? But for some reason, there are people, especially on Telegram and Twitter, who just feel like for some reason it's their duty in life to just FUD and say negative things about everything. And first off, I'm going to say anyone who does that, that's a you issue. Okay, you probably complain about everything in life anyway, but we really, as a community, want to make sure that we're putting everything we do in a positive light moving forward here, because as we start to exit the bear market, and I'm going to show everybody here in a second, where this has gone. So I'm going to switch over. Hopefully you like my new little layovers. Look at this. I got different things I'm doing here. I got my layovers. I got my facts and things. So here we go. We've got here this is the 5-day movement on Bitcoin. Okay, so let me just throw that up there a little bit. This is the 5-day movement on Bitcoin. Current price, we're hitting it. We're sitting at about 21,000 ish, give or take a little bit. But if you see where we were just 5 days ago, in fact, only 3 days ago, we're sitting around that just over 19,000. So there's this movement, this positive movement over the last 5 days in Bitcoin. If I switch that and I go over to ETH, so here in our Ethereum, look, we're seeing a similar chart where right now it's closed up. It's up over 20% over the last 5 days, sitting at just under 1,600. Again, I took these numbers I brought these web pages up earlier this morning, so depending on how the movement is gone, but what was this at 2:20 p.m. That would have been UTC. So yeah, so not too long, about an hour ago. But if you look where we've been, sitting at around that 1,300 up to a little over 15, just shy of 1,600 on ETH over the last 5 days. Move to BNB. There we go. You're essentially exact same thing happening, where it's sitting around the 270s mark. And then 3 days ago, all of a sudden, we start seeing movement. And the last day, we get a lot more movement, up 7% over 5 days. So again, not as much, but you can see the similarities in the charts, right? This means that this isn't one token doing anything special. This is a market movement happening, right? So again, we're back to Bitcoin. We see this movement over 5 days. Ethereum, you see this movement over 5 days. BNB, you see the same movement over 5 days. And I do want to talk about something. As we see Bitcoin and Ethereum are a little bit more gradual movement. BNB took a few seconds to catch up. Hey, Sasha, thanks for joining. BNB took a few minutes to catch up here, but it did do the same thing. Now, we have to understand that BNB is a lagging token. And in fact, so are we. Okay, it's a currency, a coin that follows typically Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, because it is dependent upon it. I've got shows in the past where I've talked about BNB's dependency on Ethereum. So again, we go back, we see what's happened over 5 days here. We go to ETH, we see what's happened over 5 days here. We go to BNB, we see what's happened over 5 days here. That's constant movement in the charts. It's constant movement in the positive direction. Now, that said, by tomorrow, could we get a little bit of a drop? We absolutely could. And I would expect a little bit of a sell-off too. That's what happens. But as you can see, every time there was a slight pump, there was a little drop, then it pumped, then there's a little drop, then it pumped. That's how the market works. So what does that mean? All right, what if I now bring up Poodle's chart? How about that one? There's the last 7 days. I didn't have a 5-day chart on the other one. Or sorry, this is the last day. So we've done some more good chunk over, and then here's our 7-day, and you see you got the same idea starting on about the 23rd. So we were down a little bit in this week. But what were we looking? Not much of a difference. Right around that 23rd, you get the same thing, right? You get that movement right back up. So we're actually following a very, very similar, and I wish I had a 3-day one, but nonetheless, there we go. You get this same idea on the token that it's following, but what we want to notice, so if I go to here, let's go the 23rd, 3 days ago. Let's see, how can I, year to date, no. Oh, can I do this? Let's do 22nd to today. Okay. That's the chart I want to see. There we go. All right. So now let's compare to BNB, because why? We are part of we are part of the Binance Smart Chain, right? So we are listed on that chain. That's how we trade. We're paired against it. So if you see this similarity, right? You see this slight movement, then it comes up. And then there we go into this pump. Well, what happens? Slight movement, again, slight, and then a bump, and then a bump, right? We're simply following the exact same mark. So now if we compare that, there's our Bitcoin. What's happening? Go to Ethereum. What's happening? A little more gradual on Ethereum. BNB, again, a little bit sharper. It's a lagging token, right? A lagging currency because it's dependencies. And then we go to Poodle, same thing. We're a little bit sharper, and we're going to lag BNB because we're attached to it. But then we spike and spike more. So you can see that we have a pretty consistent movement across all of the main tokens, right? So now that I've covered that, what does it mean? All right. What does all that mean? What does it mean for us as investors? It means what we've been talking about all along, right? There's things we have to understand is that when the market is tied together, right? Especially us to BNB, right? I've said this before, that if you just hold your tokens, and in fact, if we never buy or sell another token, but BNB doubles in price, we will naturally double in price, okay? Because we are tied to it, right? That's how everything on the Binance Smart Chain works, right? When you are paired to another token, you're reliant also upon their price because the pairs have to balance out. Yes. Oh boy, Trish, I know we should do live roasts of every. What if I start a segment of just a live roast of someone in the entertainment or in the crypto industry? That might get me some views. It might get people like I don't. So what we're looking at here, is coffee. We need coffee. So we're looking at a positive movement. Again, will it stay this way? Will it drop a little bit? We don't know, right? Just as easy as I could, I'm speaking of this right now, I could be saying in the next 2 days that was just a temporary pump, and then it drops. But I don't think so. This is the part of the show where we're going to do the Joe was probably right all along segment. This is my favorite thing because my favorite thing to do is talk about myself. But it's the Joe was probably all right all along segment. I have been saying for a while that I believe the bear market would end at the holidays. I started to backtrack on that over the last few weeks, a little bit, because I really kept seeing a lot of policies, a lot of global inflation continuing, the increased interest rates, that takes money away from people, right? And we know that crypto is not a first investment for most people, right? They don't wake up in the morning like we do and go, throw on the poodle swag shirt, right? They don't do that and then go, let me go buy. Now they should, and we've been talking about DCAing and dollar cost averaging and all that stuff. But it is going to be right now, crypto is most people's secondary or thirdary. Can we make thirdary a word? Investment, right? They are going to do their normal 401k that comes right out of their paycheck, their retirement that comes right out of their paycheck. Then they're going to go and maybe put some stuff into some stock market stuff. And then they're going to go to crypto, right? So it would be tertiary. That's the word I was looking for. It's third in line for them. And that's just the reality of the situation. Now, if you look at demographics, the younger demographics, right, which is, of course, the ones that don't have as much money as the older demographics typically, are the ones who are more willing to skip over traditional stock market investing. And then move and jump and put into crypto first. Okay, that is the younger generation, and in fact, my wife, she gets crazy when I talk about crypto all the time, and I'm saying this and that, and I'm saying it around our friends who are all older like us, and they don't get it. So she was at work. I guess for vocabulary advice, yeah. she asked people at work, she's like, my husband's all into this crypto stuff and this and that. Um, and she saw a definite division in the age demographic of those who said, oh, yeah, I get into that. And I'm interested in it, whether they invest in it. And then those who are saying, no, it's a fad, it's a phase. Don't waste your money. Well, well, first off, it's good for us. Yeah, in a way, okay? Because one, yes, you want people with money in there, but we've already talked about how hedge funds and governments are the largest investors in crypto. But what we're seeing then is the younger are willing to say, hey, I don't trust the typical financial systems. I don't trust that Social Security is going to be around when I'm older. I don't trust what the world that's being sent to me. They saw traditional investing fail their families. They've seen markets crash and housing crashes and all of these things. Think about the college age kid today. It could have actually been, it was probably born after 9/11, and they came into a different world. And so they don't look at things in the same way that we would look at things traditionally. So that's a move. I really wish, I really wish there was demographic information based on people's wallets, because I would love to see some of the investing that's been going on and where that movement is coming from, because I think it would be really telling to us. But as I go back, I'm going to make another point. So we're back here on the Poodle chart. What I love about our token, I want to show you something different compared to BNB and ETH, even though they're ETH actually not so much. ETH is a little bit more, where it goes up and it has a tendency to level. This did a little bit, but it's a little. What we do is we really do set floors well, and then we jump and then we set a floor well. We jump and we set a floor well. That's a very good sign for an investment. If you are looking at a standard stock, a blue chip stock, this is actually what you want to look for. If we know that markets go up and down, but what you don't want to see is, and there's really not a great example of it here. I'll take Bitcoin as a general, but like where this is very volatile up and down, and Bitcoin's going to be because of all the various players who are in it. But where you get this jaggedy, and yet if you look at us, we have a tendency not to be that way. We have a tendency to set new floors. And that is exactly what we want to have. What it means is that our investors understand buying opportunities. They understand that, hey, if I can step in and when there's a dip and buy that dip, right, when it goes down. I mean, if I were to zoom back out, there was a dip back here, a week ago that was bought right back up, which is how we got back to this next line, right? So we have wise investors who will take advantage of that and then, really just settle that floor down, see what happens, follow it up. So a lot of this, actually, if you look at our movement, and really I can tell this based on redistribution, right? Be honest, when I look at my own wallet, I look and see how much redistribution I have, and that tells me how much activity that we've had. Hey, Arthur, thanks for coming, right? Where this is pretty much based upon activity, we, as I said before, can go up in price without it because we're tied to BNB, right? Because we're tied in here to BNB. Hey, how's it going, Arthur? Yeah. We'll continue to grow according to the market, but we're here. We've got this going up. We've got this movement up. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get another. So we're coming up on a weekend. We might get a little sell-off on Friday. We might get a little pump going into a weekend so that people can do a Monday sell-off. Again, that's just typical. That's how markets work. So we'll probably see up over 21. I mean, I can probably, let's see what happens if I refresh. Yeah. Well, we're still at the same place. I don't know where I'm going with this. Back to us. What does this mean for us then? Okay, what does it mean when our chart has this type of look and this follow? One, it means that you should have been doing the same thing all along. You should have been saying, hey, um, where is my best value in purchasing? Where should I be throwing my money? And is there a safe or not safe area? Um, and how do I take advantage of a market going up? Okay, because here's the thing: there's an opportunity to make money both when the market goes up and when it goes down. There just is, right? We've talked about it, dollar cost averaging. If you DCA your way through, you're going to, in the end, average out over thing. If you buy every opportunity you can, you're going to end up averaging out over time. That's just how it works. That's the, there's nothing much, there's not rocket science behind it. But if it gets to, does this mean that I was right all along and the bear market is coming to an end? What should I say about that? Is the bear market coming to an end? All right, I'll do it. I'll say yes. I'm going to say yes. I was saying all along that I really, really thought that we were going to have our bear market end at the holidays. Like I said, I was backing off of it a little bit the last few weeks, thinking, maybe it won't be. I think it's going to happen. I think that we are going to. I think the advantage is we have an election coming up in a week or two. Yeah, next week. Is it next week? Week after next. 2 weeks. In the States. And when you have midterms, you get a lot of change. I think I even called this before. We would probably see some type of a bump right before the election. Parties in power need things. You start seeing policies come out right before a midterm to help, obviously, typically in general, the party in power loses seats and loses some power at a midterm. It doesn't matter who's in power. It's just that's how it works. So you start getting some positive policy changes and movement that would normally go against that party's side because they're trying to save votes, right? That's how it works. Doesn't matter who's in charge. That's how politics works. So we're getting a bump right now that I don't know that we don't talk politics here, but I am talking politics, aren't I? That I think that I'm going to go back and say the bear market is over because of the election is going to give us a normal bump. You're going to see excitement as we go into the holidays. I think that, I used to be the kind of person who complained about the department stores putting Christmas stuff out before even Halloween was up. But yet, I think it's a positive this year. I think that we're going to start seeing spending. I think just as we've come out of the pandemic and we're coming out of the pandemic, we're recognizing that even as governments want to put more even if they try to put a lockdown procedure down or they're trying to put COVID stuff back in place, people are rejecting it and they're saying I'm done. And so I think that we're going to start to see consumer confidence, even though it's a very bad time with interest rates, with housing market, start to rebound. I'm good again. This is, DYOR, right, from last week. Do your own research, not financial advice. Oh yeah, NFA, I left that one out, not financial advice. But I think I'm going back to saying that I am correct. And that we're going to get a movement out. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I think people are still going to spend money on their families. They're not going to be buying crypto over the holidays, but you're going to see consumer confidence rise. You're going to see, which increases GDP, which increases people's pay, which increases, right? It all tied together. In order for a a bull market to come. I'm gonna kind of say it in February. There we go. I said it right there. Bull market starts in February. So what we're going to see is a cutting off of the bear market over the next 2 months. I kind of get that feeling. I think the election is good for us. I think the holidays are good for us. Does it mean we're going to turn from a bear to a bull? No. But it does mean we'll start to see taper out. We'll start to see wise investing. We'll start to see, again, the consumer confidence. We'll see people want to figure out how to make better investing as they start getting a little extra money and extra holiday money. They enjoy it. This is probably the first full Christmas holiday, Hanukkah season where we don't have to worry about yeah, the Christmas. We don't have to, we just want we want to be back to normal. We want to splurge on our kids. We want to spend that extra, even if it's not a wise time because it is tough with inflation. I think we're going to start to see it happen, and that's going to be the best equalizer coming out of the holiday season, coming out of a bear market. Because the one thing we want, and I'm going to go back to this. Our chart, so the poodle chart. See here, this straight line action. This is what we want. This is what you want to see in the markets. This type of action, and I think that's what you're going to see. Again, we don't see it a lot. Kind of see it here in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just it's so volatile. You see it better on Ethereum. I think that's the positive, and I think as we go up, and we probably. I mean, I don't know if we're going to double X. Is Bitcoin going to get to 40 by the time the holiday season is over? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it sitting at 28 by the end of Christmas. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH went back over 2 by the end of Christmas, and BNB hits that 350. BNB really likes that 375 area. I don't know what it is about BNB. They love the 75, 275. There's something about it. So I can see BNB hitting 375, 350, 375 by the end of the year. Bitcoin being up over 2, and ETH over 2, and Bitcoin being up at 28, 30, maybe even hitting tapping 30, and then you'll have a sell off at 30, and then readjusting at 28. I could see that happening. And this is what's going to be strong for us. And I know there's comments in the chat about, if you're in this and you're in this for a while, you're buying around, you're going to be very happy. You are, because this is the time to be putting money into this, right? This is the time to say, hey, I want to look for my future, because the fact is, those people who do this, and we talked about this actually, I think almost a year ago in one of last year's episodes around the holidays. I said, about, which is here, gifting people Poodle for the holidays, but if we start to see a little bit of a pump and we start to see this gradual growth, there also is an I told you so moment, because people are going to walk in, and let's be honest, they're going to walk into the holidays and be like, you told me to buy and everything is down, right? Well, the fact is, everybody is down, right? Everyone's markets is down. This is not about Poodle. This is not about any crypto. This is not about anything. The fact is, market's down. Right. That's why we saw the FUD that came in earlier today on the Telegram. And, what people love to do is say, I have XYZ, and the math was wrong. And who was it that was doing the person's math? It was like, hey, you did not lose what you had, $250,000 worth, and now it's worth $80 or whatever it was. You're a liar. I mean, such a liar. But what you have to recognize is the next question I asked to somebody is this the only thing that's down? Because if this is the only thing that's down and everything else is up, then you wouldn't care, or you wouldn't be making any point. So you would just say, okay, one's up, one's down and everything else is up. But we know that's not the truth. We know that the market is down, but the market is recovering. So as we have our conversations with our families coming up over the holidays, let's utilize and leverage this little pump, and to put it into perspective that as we start, I love that Christmas Poodle gift cards. Oh, we could do that. You could, in theory, create wallets that you could give people, and they just, I don't know. And So what you want to do is you start sit there and go, okay, what's happening over the holidays when we sit with our families and we talk about it? Because they're going to ask, they're going to know you were into it the last year, right? Because remember last Christmas, we were starting to see a slide off of the pump, but it wasn't, it wasn't huge yet. This last year was our big bear market. And so you can now start to have the conversations of, yeah, and just like the regular market, things are turning. And in fact, crypto has the most upside. So to be honest, all right, one thing we can see, right, just to put it into perspective, if I go back to, where's my screen? Here, we can see no one thinks that Bitcoin is going to stay here. We all believe it's going to go back to 60. Even people who don't trust it knows that it will not stay here, that it will go back to where it was, because every stock will. But that's a 3x from here. That's a pretty solid investment that a normal people's normal investments don't. If you go up, 300%, that's good, right? People don't talk about that. And we are also not surprised if over the next bull market, when the actual bull market comes, that Bitcoin tops 100,000. It's not unrealistic. It'll be madness when it does, because you're going to get a sell-off. You're going to get a FOMO. You're going to get this market. But you know what that's going to be good for? Not good for us. That's great for us. Bitcoin madness is wonderful for us. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see people excited about it. We want to see that movement, and we're going to have some. So that's what's really, the cool part about it. As you know, a lot of work is always being done on our token. We're always working on, improving and making things better. We've got a lot of utility coming out. We've got a lot of things coming out to really help and kind of garner that. I'm thankful to be home outside of, a couple of miscellaneous days of that I can now focus on more, because this is an important time for us as we exit the bear market. And I'm saying it that way. I'm going to say exiting the bear market. And so that's really the key. We're going to get there. And we're going to be the ones saying, hey, I told you so. Everyone who, spent time doubling up their wallets in both Poodle and all the Seek coins and all of the standard cryptos. I think that your biggest buy, chances are in things like Poodle and the Seek ecosystem. Those are the ones that you probably have a greater upside. That's where I was going. I was going here with even if you get 3 to 4x here, which people will consider great, we talk in terms of 10, 100, 1000x. How is that for upside? That's the upside that you want to see. That's what we want to see as we start to move ourselves into the next phase. We're gonna recognize that this time in our market is what we needed. We needed a drop to get rid of all the bad actors. We needed a time to make sure that people who are serious about this put in the work. We see that in Poodle. We see it in the Seek ecosystem. We see the investment in long-term strategy, and that's going to pay off, right? I've said this all along. The bear market was good for getting rid of the bad actors. So now as we come out of it, people are going to be looking. They're going to look to us. They're going to see recovery. They're going to see that we're still around, okay? How about that? How many people probably, bought a bunch of shit coins before, and then they probably turned off their wallet. They probably haven't checked it because they got so frustrated. They're going to turn it on, and then they're going to wonder who's still around, and yet we will be. We will still be around. And that's what's going to be cool. And we can say that all along. And so if we made it through that bear market, we're going to be able to make it through the bull market even better and stronger. So I think that's where I'm going with it. The final recap is the bear market over? Yes. Maybe. It's on its way. It's on its way. Like I said, election, Christmas, I think we're going to level out the bear market. We're going to start our upward trajectory. And I think that's good. Level out the bear market, start our upward trajectory. Not a bull market, I don't think, until February or March. You have to realize, especially this year, people are going to be charging a lot more on their credit cards because they want a normal Christmas with their families. And those credit card bills will come due in February, March, right? So it's going to be a slow year, but I think the movement in the market is going to be a positive one. So that's my not financial advice. Do your own research, but it's financial advice, and here's your research. So that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit of is the bear market over? Talking about the bear market. Exciting week in all of crypto to see this positive movement. So much I had to wear my poodle shirt today for our recording. And hopefully you guys are liking this new format. And hopefully the new time is working out. We'll keep promoting it, making sure that people continue to know it. Hopefully, do you like my little video layovers? You know, I'm working hard. I'm getting my video layovers working. This next week, I'm going to warn you. I believe that some people, the UK and others, do. If I remember this from last year, they go on to daylight savings or off daylight savings different. And then here in the States, we do like the next week after. So there's this time of the next 2 to 3 weeks where it's not necessarily like the, yes, new Wi-Fi. I did upgrade. I actually got hardwired all the way through. So ran cables. So new Wi-Fi. I actually ran cables all the way down, up the wall, through went into the attic, dropped them down the wall, and they're plugged into the router directly. See? So hopefully I'm going to get some better... connectivity directly to my computer. So only when October 30 changes. Okay, and then we're the following week here in the States. So we're gonna watch what time it is for you for the show. I'm doing it at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That won't change. What it means for UTC and your time where you are, that may change, but I'm doing it at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And hopefully, again, this new setup, all this is working. I still love my new mic. Check that out. Limited edition Shure microphone. Isn't that nice? All right. And so that being said, I'm going to call this an episode. You all have a great week. We'll see you on the Telegram. We'll see you, Poodle fam. Take care.